If you were my son, I wouldn't sit you down and give you fairy tales about women, son. I wouldn't paint this picture that the world tries to paint for you, that every woman you meet is your destiny, your safe place, your forever love. No, if you were my son, I would love you enough to tell you the raw, unfiltered truth, because it's better for you to hear the truth from me than to learn it the hard way from life. Women are powerful, son. Women are complex, son. Women can be your greatest blessing or your greatest destruction, depending on what you don't know. So today, I'm going to share with you 13 harsh truths about women, not to make you bitter, but to make you wiser. Because a wise man wins where a foolish man falls. Son, lean in for a moment, because this is one of the first and most important lessons you will ever need to carry with you about women. If you don't get this truth down in your soul, you will spend years, even decades, bleeding in places you didn't have to bleed. See, son, as men, we often grow up believing that if a woman is close to us, if she laughs at our jokes, if she holds our hand, if she calls us baby or boo, that must mean she's in love with us. But I need you to understand, love is not cheap. Real love is not built on convenience, resources, or reputation. Real love is not, I'm with you because you're on the rise, or I'm with you because you take care of me, or I'm with you because I'm lonely right now. Son, that's situational attachment, not authentic love. You must discern the difference between a woman who sees you, your essence, your character, your soul, and a woman who sees what she can extract from you. And let me tell you, the latter is far more common than you might want to believe. There are women who will treat your presence like a stepping stone to their own desires. You become the vehicle, the platform, the provider of a lifestyle, and when you no longer meet that expectation, they will walk away like you never existed. Now, son, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that all women are this way. That's not truth. There are women who will love you with a depth that will humble you. There are women who will stand with you when you're up and when you're down, when you have money and when you're broke, when you are celebrated and when you are forgotten. But the reason I have to warn you is because too many men have confused admiration for love, dependency for love, and convenience for love. And when the lights go out, when the money dries up, when the spotlight shifts, those men realize the woman they thought loved them never actually did. So let me break it down further. When a woman says she loves you, watch how she behaves when you have nothing to offer her but you. When you strip away the gifts, the meals, the trips, the titles, the promises, does she still desire your presence? Can she still find joy in your conversation? Does she still respect you when you're not in a position of power? That is where the truth lies. Because love that is based on what you provide is a contract. Love that is based on who you are is a covenant. I remember saying this once, son, a woman can be in love with your potential, but not truly in love with you. She may look at you and say, I love the man you're going to become. But what she's really saying is, I love the benefits that will come when you become that man. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your life striving to keep up with her expectations rather than standing in your authentic self. That's how men lose themselves, trying to live up to an image a woman has in her mind instead of the reality of who God made them to be. Love is not about access. Love is about acceptance. A woman who truly loves you will love your brokenness as much as your brilliance. She will sit with you in your silence, not just your spotlight. She will value your heart more than your hustle. And son, you need that kind of love because a man's destiny can be derailed if he joins himself to the wrong woman. So, what's the solution? It's discernment. Don't be so quick to call every woman you meet the one. Test her heart, observe her patterns, see how she treats you when you can't give her what she wants. Pay attention to her attitude when she doesn't get her way. Son, discernment will save you years of pain. Because when you learn to recognize the difference between love for you and love for what you bring, you'll stop giving husband benefits to women who only qualify as temporary companions. I want you to understand something powerful. A woman who truly loves you will never make you question if she loves you. Her consistency, her respect, her support, it will be undeniable. And when she says, I love you, you'll know it's not because of your title, your money, or your image. It's because of your essence. And that kind of love, son, is priceless. But until you find that, keep your heart guarded. Don't let your desire for companionship blind you to manipulation. Don't let your loneliness trick you into settling for someone who only loves your benefits. Son, remember this truth. Not every woman who says, I love you, really loves you. And if you were my son, I'd rather you learn that now than learn it broken-hearted years later when the wrong woman walks out of your life with pieces of your soul in her hands. That's why I tell you this harsh truth. Not to make you suspicious of all women, but to make you a wise man. Because wisdom will protect you from what emotion can't see. Son, let me slow this down and really press this into your heart, because if you don't get this lesson, you will waste years of your life chasing illusions. Beauty is powerful, but beauty is not character. Did you hear me? Beauty is powerful. It will make you forget where you were going. It will make you forget the principles you promised yourself you'd live by. It will blind you, son, if you don't learn how to look beyond what the eyes can see. But never confuse beauty with character. Beauty is temporary. Character is eternal. Now, I want to acknowledge this up front. There's nothing wrong with appreciating beauty. God designed us as men to be visual. That's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to be understood. You will notice her smile, her shape, her walk, her presence. And there's nothing sinful in recognizing beauty. But here's the danger when you let beauty take the place of discernment, when you let your eyes pick your future instead of your spirit. Son, many men have ruined their lives because they confused attraction with assignment. They married an image and divorced a stranger. Let me tell you, son, beauty can hypnotize you. It can cause you to ignore red flags waving right in front of your face. A man will hear a woman disrespect him, dishonor him, belittle him, but because she's beautiful, he'll brush it off. He'll say, well, she didn't mean it that way, or I can deal with it. But what he's really saying is her beauty outweighs her behavior. And when you let that happen, you're already headed for heartbreak. You see, the world has trained us to put beauty at the top of the list. When it comes to choosing a woman, they tell you, find the finest one you can get. They don't tell you, find the one with integrity. They don't tell you, find the one who fears God. They don't tell you, find the one who speaks life into you. They say, find the one who looks good on your arm. But let me warn you, son, beauty might look good on your arm, but it can also be poison to your soul if there's no character behind it. I've seen it too many times. A man gets with a beautiful woman and she knows she's beautiful. She weaponizes her beauty. She uses it as leverage. She uses it to manipulate. She uses it to keep him insecure. And because he's intoxicated by what she looks like, he never notices how empty he feels when she's not around. Beauty is like a fragrance, son. It's attractive, but it doesn't feed you. You can't live on perfume, and you can't build a marriage on a face. Let me give you something practical. Character will show up in how she treats people who can't benefit her. If she's beautiful but rude to waiters, dismissive to elders, unkind to children, son, that beauty is a mask covering an ugly heart. Character will show up in how she responds to conflict. If she's beautiful but vindictive, beautiful but manipulative, beautiful but never accountable, son, that beauty will destroy your peace. And here's what I really need you to grasp. Beauty fades. Time is undefeated. The face will change. The body will change. But character only grows stronger with time. If you marry beauty without character, you'll wake up one day lying next to someone you can't even stand to talk to. But if you marry character, you'll wake up years later, still grateful to be in the presence of a woman who loves you from the soul outwards. I want you to think about it like this. Beauty is the wrapping paper. Character is the gift inside. Some men are so distracted by the wrapping paper that they never open the box. And years later, when the paper is torn and faded, they realize there was nothing inside to begin with. Son, don't be that man. Don't get so caught up in the packaging that you forget to check what's inside. Now, I'm not saying settle for someone you're not attracted to. Attraction matters. God didn't design us to marry out of pity. No, son, you should be attracted to your woman, but attraction alone cannot sustain a relationship, because when storms come, and they will come, it won't be her face that carries you, it will be her faith. It won't be her figure that sustains you, it will be her loyalty. It won't be her beauty that comforts you, it will be her character. And son, let me speak to the culture for a second. We live in a generation where beauty has been commercialized, filtered, and manufactured. A lot of what you're seeing online is not even real. It's edited, it's staged, it's curated for likes and comments. Don't let yourself be deceived into chasing after something that's not even authentic. Real life is not Instagram. You can't build a life with a filter. When you wake up every day with a woman, there's no filter. There's just reality. And if reality doesn't match your fantasy, you'll live in quiet misery. That's why, son, you must train your eyes to submit to your spirit. Before you ask, is she fine? Ask, is she kind? Before you ask, is she sexy? Ask, is she steady? Before you ask, is she flawless? Ask, is she faithful? Because looks will attract you, but character will keep you. I want you to remember the story of Samson. Son, Samson was the strongest man of his time, chosen by God, anointed from birth, but his downfall was not the Philistines, it was his inability to see beyond beauty. He was captivated by Delilah's looks, but blind to her lack of loyalty, and because of that blindness, he gave away his strength. Don't be like Samson, son. Don't let beauty rob you of your destiny. Now let me explain it to you. Attention is like oxygen for some women. They don't just want to know they are valuable. They need constant reinforcement of that value from as many sources as possible. So even if you love her with everything you have, even if you tell her she's beautiful, even if you shower her with affirmation, she still has a craving for external applause. That kind of woman doesn't need love. She needs an audience. And son, you can't compete with an audience. It shows up in subtle ways at first. She can't post a picture without waiting to see how many men will like it or comment on it. She's always needing to dress a certain way, not because she wants to feel good about herself, but because she needs to be noticed. And she'll tell you, I'm just confident, or I just love attention. But what she's not telling you is that it's a deep hunger rooted in insecurity. A woman who is secure in herself doesn't need validation from the world to feel beautiful. She doesn't need 1,000 likes on Instagram to believe she's valuable. She doesn't need every man in the room staring at her to feel wanted. She knows who she is. But when you connect yourself to a woman addicted to attention, she will pull you into a constant cycle of frustration. You'll find yourself competing with her phone, competing with social media, competing with approval of strangers. And here's the thing, son, no matter how much you give, she'll always need more. Because attention is not love. Attention is like sugar. It gives a quick rush, but it never nourishes. Now, don't misunderstand me. Every woman, every human being enjoys attention. There's nothing wrong with a woman enjoying a compliment or appreciating when her man notices her. That's natural. But I'm not talking about appreciation. I'm talking about addiction. I'm talking about a woman who can't function without being the center of somebody's world all the time. I'm talking about a woman who, if she doesn't get her fix, becomes irritable, insecure, or resentful. And son, let me warn you, those kinds of women can be dangerous to your peace because they don't just want your attention, they want everyone's attention. Which means while you're trying to build a life, she's trying to build a stage. While you're focused on vision, she's focused on visibility. While you're thinking about purpose, she's thinking about popularity. And if you don't discern that early, you'll waste years trying to convince her that your love is enough, when in her mind, no one man's love will ever be enough. Let me break it down like this. When a woman is addicted to attention, she's not looking for connection, she's looking for confirmation. She wants to be reminded that she's desirable, that she's still got it, that she's still wanted by many. But son, a woman who always needs to be wanted by many will never truly belong to one. She may sit in your house, she may carry your last name, but if her spirit is always looking for the eyes of the crowd, you will never have her heart completely. Now, I want to get to the root of it. Most of the time, women addicted to attention are dealing with a deficit inside. Maybe she never got her father's affirmation, so now she looks for it in every man she meets. Maybe she was overlooked in her younger years, and now she's making up for lost time. Maybe she was hurt before, and the attention of many feels safer than the love of one. Whatever the case, son, I need you to see that this has nothing to do with you. You could be the most loving, faithful, supportive man in the world. But if she has that hole inside, your love will pour into it like water into a bucket with no bottom. And here's the real danger. You will start to believe you're not enough. You'll start to think, if I just did more, maybe she wouldn't need all that attention. But son, that's a trap. You are not the problem, and you are not the solution. That's something she has to confront in herself. And until she does, you'll always be running a race you can't win. So what do? You have to decide early. Do you want to build with someone who needs you or someone who needs everyone? Because a woman who needs you will respect your love, your time, your affirmation. She will feel secure in it. But a woman who needs everyone will never respect your love, because to her it's just one voice in a choir. and she needs the choir to keep singing or else she feels empty. Son, I want you to picture something. Imagine you're building a house. You're laying bricks, sweating, sacrificing, working late nights, investing in this home. Now imagine while you're doing all that, your woman is outside on the street corner asking strangers to compliment the paint on the house. She's not concerned about the foundation you're building. She just wants people to notice how it looks from the outside. That's what it's like to be with a woman addicted to attention. You'll be building, but she'll be performing. And the more she performs, the less she'll value the builder. Now, hear me clearly, son. I'm not saying a woman who loves attention is evil. I'm saying she's unready. She's not ready to be a wife. She's not ready to be a partner. She's not ready to walk with you into destiny because she's too busy walking into every spotlight she can find. And if you don't discern it, you will pay the price for her immaturity. What you need is a woman who knows her worth without the world telling her every 5 minutes. A woman who can walk into a room and not care who's watching because she already knows who she is. A woman who finds fulfillment in your love, not in the cheers of strangers. That kind of woman will bring you peace. That kind of woman will cover you, not compete with you. That kind of woman will build with you in private, not perform for the public. So, son, remember this: attention is a drug for many women, but you don't have to be the rehab center for someone else's addiction. Don't sacrifice your peace trying to cure a hunger you didn't create. Love yourself enough to discern the difference between a woman who enjoys your attention and a woman who is addicted to all attention, because one will love you deeply and the other will drain you completely. Son, I need you to really open your heart on this one, because this truth right here will shape the kind of man you become, the kind of relationships you tolerate, and the kind of destiny you live out. A woman's words can build you, or a woman's words can break you. Don't ever underestimate the power of her tongue. Don't ever think words are just words. Words create worlds. Words build atmospheres. Words shape how you see yourself and how you see your future. And if you connect yourself to the wrong woman with the wrong words, son, you will spend your life carrying weights that God never designed for you to carry. Understand this. Women are designed with influence. From the very beginning, Eve spoke to Adam, and her words shifted his decisions. That influence is not evil, it's divine. God designed a woman to carry influence, to nurture, to shape, to mold. But influence can go two ways. It can build or it can break. And if her words are laced with poison, that poison will get into your spirit and it will show up in your confidence, your choices, and your future. Think about it, son. When a man wakes up every morning and hears words of affirmation, I believe in you, I'm proud of you, I see greatness in you, he walks into the world with his shoulders back and his head high. That's why, son, when you're looking for a woman, don't just look at her beauty. Don't just look at her body. Listen to her words. Pay attention to how she talks to you when she's mad. Pay attention to what she says when she's disappointed. Pay attention to how she talks about other people when they're not around. Because sooner or later, those same words will be pointed in your direction. If her words are constantly sharp, judgmental, critical, you will eventually be on the receiving end of that blade. Let me give you some perspective. The wrong words at the wrong time can dismantle a man's spirit faster than any enemy on the outside. A man can fight the world if his home is a place of peace. But if his home becomes a place of verbal warfare, he will lose battles he should have won. He will second guess himself. He will hesitate. He will live beneath his potential, not because he lacked ability, but because the woman closest to him spoke death into his soul. Let me put it like this: a woman's words are like water. She can either water your garden or flood your house. She can either nourish what's growing in you or she can drown it. That's why you must be very careful whose voice you allow close to your heart. Words don't just disappear, they linger, they replay in your mind, they echo in your thoughts. If the echo is negative, you'll walk around hearing her voice instead of God's voice. And son, that's a dangerous place to be. Now, let me also say this. Don't just pay attention to how she speaks to you. Pay attention to how you feel after she speaks. Do you feel lighter, stronger, more hopeful after conversations with her? Or do you feel drained, confused, belittled? Because your emotions don't lie. The spirit inside you can sense when words are life-giving versus when words are destructive. Don't ignore that. A man who ignores those feelings will eventually normalize being torn down, and he'll call it love. But son, love doesn't destroy. Love doesn't belittle. Love doesn't leave you doubting yourself every day. Let me give you an example. I've counseled men who were brilliant, successful, gifted, but they were married to women whose words tore them down. And over time, these men shrank. They lost their drive. They lost their spark. They lost their confidence. Why? Because the words of the woman closest to them slowly chipped away at their identity. You don't have to physically abuse a man to destroy him. You can verbally assassinate him until there's nothing left. But I've also seen the opposite. I've seen men who weren't that impressive by the world's standards. They didn't have the best jobs. They didn't have the flashiest lives, but they had women behind them speaking life. And those men rose. They built businesses. They pursued dreams. They became better husbands, better fathers. Why? Because words planted seeds of greatness, and eventually those seeds bore fruit. Son, this is why I'm telling you, choose carefully. Don't just choose a woman who looks good on your arm. Choose a woman who will sound good in your spirit. Because when life gets heavy, when the pressure mounts, when you feel like giving up, it will be her voice you hear in your ear. And you want that voice to remind you of who you are, not convince you of what you're not. I'll say it another way. The wrong woman's words can cut your wings, but the right woman's words can make you fly. So what do you do with this truth? First, you have to value yourself enough to demand life-giving words. Don't tolerate constant disrespect. Don't allow verbal abuse just because you're afraid of being alone. Being alone is better than being attached to someone who destroys you daily with their tongue. Second, learn to speak life over yourself. Even if she doesn't affirm you, you must affirm yourself. Don't let your identity be completely dependent on anyone's voice but God's. And third, then you find a woman whose words build you, honor her, appreciate her, pour back into her, because that is rare and it is priceless. Son, I'll leave you with this. Your future, your purpose, your destiny, it's too important to let the wrong words derail it. Protect your heart, protect your ears, protect your spirit, because a woman's words can be your greatest weapon or your greatest wound. And if you were my son, I'd tell you, make sure her words are building you, not breaking you. Son, let me tell you something that might sting at first, but if you receive it with a humble heart, it will save you from years of pain, regret, and wasted energy. Every woman is not wife material. Hear me carefully. Every woman may be someone's daughter, someone's friend, someone's sister, but that doesn't mean she is prepared or qualified to be somebody's wife. And if you fail to discern the difference, you will end up trying to force a wife out of a woman who has no desire, no training, no vision, and no maturity, for the role. That will not only break your heart, it can break your future. See, son, there's a major difference between a woman you can have fun with and a woman you can build a life with. Too many men confuse the two. They get caught up in the excitement of the moment, the laughter, the chemistry, the attraction, the late nights, and before they know it, they've invested years into a woman who was never designed to be their partner for destiny. Fun is temporary, but marriage is eternal. And if you mistake a temporary thrill for a lifelong partner, you will end up frustrated and empty. Understand this. Wife material is not about age. It's not about beauty. It's not about popularity. It's about character, mindset, and maturity. Some women are 35 years old, but still have the emotional development of a teenager. Some women are stunningly beautiful, but can't hold a meaningful conversation. Some women know how to attract attention, but don't know how to sustain a household. And if you don't look deeper than the surface, you will tie yourself to someone who looks good on your arm but brings chaos into your life. Son, you have to recognize that being a wife is not just a title, it's a calling. A wife is a partner. A wife is a builder. A wife is a nurturer. A wife is someone who sees your vision and says, let's do it together. A wife is someone who values covenant over convenience. But not every woman is ready for that. Some women want the wedding, but not the marriage. Some women want the ring, but not the responsibility. Some women want the status, but not the sacrifice. And if you confuse desire for maturity, you will be the one paying the price. Let me break it down even more. Wife material shows up in how she handles pressure. If she crumbles every time life gets difficult, how will she stand with you in storms? Wife material shows up in how she treats people. If she can't respect her father, her brothers, or the men in her life, what makes you think she will respect you? Wife material shows up in how she manages what she had. If she wastes her money, wastes her time, wastes her energy, don't fool yourself into thinking she'll suddenly become disciplined just because she married you. Marriage magnifies who a person already is. It doesn't change them, it exposes them. And son, here's where I really need you to pay attention. The wrong woman can destroy the right man. You could have vision, strength, favor, and opportunity, but if you tie yourself to a woman who has no interest in being a wife, she will drag you into places you never intended to go. That's why the Bible says it is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman, because being tied to the wrong woman will turn your house into a battlefield and your future into a prison. Don't be fooled by charm. Don't be blinded by beauty. Don't be seduced by chemistry. Ask yourself the deeper questions. Does she have values? Does she have discipline? Does she have respect for herself? Does she honor God? Can she handle the weight of partnership? Because if the answer is no, she is not wife material, no matter how much you want her to be. So let me also tell you this. Just because she's not wife material doesn't mean she's a bad person. She may be wonderful in her own way. She may be a great friend, a fun companion, a kind soul, but that doesn't mean she is the woman who can walk with you into destiny. Don't confuse compatibility for a season with compatibility for a lifetime. Some women are perfect for your youth, but disastrous for your future. You must know the difference. And here's something I need you to guard against. Don't fall into the trap of trying to make a woman into a wife when she has no desire to be one. Too many men marry potential. They see glimpses of what she could be if she changed this or matured in that or developed discipline here. But son, you cannot build a marriage on maybe. You cannot marry a woman for her potential and then spend the rest of your life resenting her for not becoming what you hoped. If she doesn't show wife qualities now, don't assume she'll suddenly develop them later. Let me be very practical. Wife material looks like this. She respects you even when she's angry. She manages her life with responsibility. She doesn't play games with your emotions. She knows how to have fun, but she also knows how to be serious. She's not driven by attention. She's driven by purpose. She adds to your life instead of subtracting from it. She speaks life instead of tearing you down. She brings peace into your home instead of chaos. That's wife material. Remember this, your choice of a wife will affect every area of your life. The wrong woman can cost you your destiny, but the right woman can multiply your destiny. Don't settle because you're lonely. Don't settle because you're impatient. Don't settle because your friends are getting married. Wait for the one who is prepared to walk with you, build with you, and cover you. Every woman is not wife material, but when you find one who is, she is worth far more than rubies. So if you were my son, I'd tell you this: value yourself enough to be selective. Don't give your last name, your house, your future to someone who's only interested in the benefits but not the responsibility. A wife is not chosen because she's convenient. She's chosen because she's covenant. And if you keep that truth in your heart, son, you will avoid a lifetime of regret. Son, this one right here is one of the hardest lessons you'll ever have to accept. But if you don't grasp it, you will be played, drained, and confused before you even realize what happened. Manipulation is real. Let me say that again so it sinks deep into your spirit. Manipulation is real. There are some women who will never lift a hand against you physically, but they will control you with emotional games, silent treatments, seductive tactics, or guilt trips until you become a puppet dancing to the rhythm of their agenda. And if you don't recognize it for what it is, you will call it love when it's really control. You see, son, God designed women with influence. That influence, when it's pure, is powerful and beautiful. A woman's words, her presence, her touch, they can push a man toward his destiny, encourage him when he's weary, and remind him of his greatness when he forgets. But when that influence is twisted, when it's driven by selfish motives instead of love, it turns into manipulation. And manipulation is like a slow poison. It doesn't kill you all at once. It drains you little by little until you wake up one day and realize you are not even yourself anymore. Another tactic, son, is silence. The manipulative woman will withhold communication, affection, or even intimacy to punish you until you conform. She knows that your need for peace and closeness will drive you to give in, so she uses the absence of connection as a leash around your neck. And what happens? You begin to compromise your standards, your principles, your vision, just to get her to stop withholding what she knows you crave. That's not love, son, that's control. And there's seduction. A manipulative woman understands the power of her body. She knows how to use attraction as currency. She will give affection when she wants something and withdraw it when she doesn't. And if you are a man led by your flesh more than your spirit, you will be like a dog on a chain running in circles, never realizing she's the one holding the leash. Son, manipulation is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, almost invisible. It shows up in guilt trips. If you really loved me, you would. It shows up in shame. You're not a real man if you don't. It shows up in comparison. Other men do this for their women. Why don't you? And before you know it, you're not making decisions from conviction. You're making decisions from fear, fear of losing her, fear of disappointing her, fear of being seen as less than. That's not partnership, that's bondage. And let me tell you the real danger, son. If you spend enough time with a manipulative woman, you will begin to doubt your own instincts. You will start questioning your own discernment. She will twist the narrative until you believe you're the problem, you're the crazy one, you're the selfish one. That's called gaslighting. It's when someone makes you doubt your own reality so they can stay in control. And once you lose trust in your own perception, she owns you. Because now you don't even trust yourself, you only trust her version of the story. Son, I want you to hear me with your soul. Love is not manipulation. Love does not force. Love does not control. Love does not make you feel small, guilty, or bound. Love brings freedom, encouragement, and peace. If you are in a situation where you constantly feel like you're being pulled by invisible strings, that's not love. That's manipulation. And you owe it to yourself and to your future to step back, recognize it, and break free. Let me also say this. Don't confuse submission with manipulation. A woman who truly loves you may challenge you, may disagree with you, may even cry because she's vulnerable with you, but the spirit behind it is different. Submission is rooted in respect and covenant. Manipulation is rooted in selfishness and control. One builds trust, the other destroys it. You must learn to discern the spirit behind her actions, not just the actions themselves. Now, here's the hard truth, son. Manipulation only works when the man allows it. If you don't have boundaries, if you don't stand on your convictions, if you don't know who you are, you will always be vulnerable to being manipulated. The man who is desperate for approval, desperate for intimacy, desperate for validation, he is the easiest target. That's why before you ever attach yourself to a woman, you must be whole in yourself. You must know your worth. You must know your standards. You must know your boundaries, because if you don't, manipulation will slip in through the cracks of your insecurity. And son, I need you to take this seriously because I've seen too many men destroyed, not by fists, not by weapons, but by emotional strings they didn't even realize were tied around them. A manipulative woman can delay your dreams, drain your finances, crush your spirit, and leave you a shell of the man you were created to be. She will not walk away until she has drained everything she came for. That's why you must discern early, set boundaries clearly, and never compromise your identity for the illusion of love. Now, let me balance this with hope. Not every woman manipulates. There are women who will love you purely, who will never play games, who will communicate openly, who will support you without strings attached. Those are the women worth your time. Those are the women worth your commitment. Those are the women who will push you toward purpose instead of pulling you into confusion. And when you find one of them, son, you will know the difference. Because real love feels like peace. Real love feels like freedom. Real love feels like partnership. But until then, never forget this harsh truth. Manipulation is real. It may come dressed in beauty, charm, or even sweetness, but if you look deeper, you'll see the strings attached. Don't ignore them. Don't excuse them. Don't think you can fix them. Recognize them, name them, and walk in your strength. Because if you don't, you'll lose yourself in someone else's game. So, if you are my son, I tell you, love yourself enough to resist manipulation, guard your mind, guard your emotions, guard your peace. A manipulative woman is not your assignment. She's a distraction. And your destiny is too important to waste dancing to the tune of someone else's control. Son, I need you to really lean in on this one because this right here separates the boys from the men and it separates the broken cycles from the generational blessings. Yes, there are good women out there. Don't you let the bitterness of the world or the chatter of disappointed men convince you that all women are the same. That's a lie from the pit. There are women who are wise, loyal, nurturing, supportive, spiritual, and committed to building alongside the right man. But here's the harsh truth. Those kinds of women are not for boys. They are not for men who are still playing games, chasing validation, or avoiding responsibility. Good women require a grown man. If you're not willing to stand up, take your rightful place, and operate as a man of vision, discipline, and leadership, you will never be able to handle, appreciate, or keep a good woman. Let me paint it plain for you. A good woman is not impressed by your looks, your car, or your money if you lack integrity. She may acknowledge those things, but she's measuring something deeper. She's looking at your consistency, your emotional maturity, your capacity to lead without control, your ability to protect without smothering, and your willingness to sacrifice for the sake of family. A boy wants to be served, but a man understands that love is about service. A boy seeks attention, but a man gives direction. A boy craves being mothered, but a man seeks to be partnered. So if you approach a good woman as a boy, she will either correct you or reject you. Son, let me remind you, good women are not desperate. They don't need you to survive. They choose you to build. That means they're not going to tolerate laziness, dishonesty, disrespect, or immaturity. They've invested in themselves. They've cultivated their own character. They've grown in wisdom and they know their value. So when they connect with a man, it's not to complete them, it's to complement them. And if you show up without discipline, without vision, without maturity, she won't see you as a blessing. She'll see you as a burden. Now, don't get it twisted, son. I'm not saying you have to be perfect to have a good woman. Nobody is perfect, but you must be growing. You must be progressing. You must be showing evidence that you're serious about your purpose, your spiritual life, your finances, your emotional health. A grown man doesn't have it all together, but he's actively working on it. He's not blaming the world for his failures. He's taking responsibility and making changes. And a good woman will respect that because she knows she can build with that. See, boys are selfish in love. They ask, what can she do for me? Men, real men, ask, how can I cover her, provide for her, protect her, and help her grow? A boy runs when times get hard, but a man stays and solves problems. A boy needs constant affirmation to feel like a man, but a grown man stands in his identity, and from that security, he affirms his woman. A boy flirts with other women to feel powerful, but a man commits to one woman because he knows real strength is in faithfulness. And this is what I'm telling you, son. Good women are not attracted to boys. They are drawn to men who know themselves and know their God. A good woman will also test your foundation, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that reveals your character. She wants to see how you respond under pressure, how you handle disagreements, how you manage your money, how you control your temper, how you honor your commitments. And if she finds cracks in your foundation, she won't necessarily leave you immediately, but she'll lose respect for you. And once a good woman loses respect, you're on borrowed time. That's why you must always guard your integrity. Because when she respects you, she can follow you. When she loses that, the relationship is already dying. And son, here's another truth. Boys look for women to rescue them. Grown men prepare themselves to rescue women. I don't mean financially only, though, provision matters. I'm talking about emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. A grown man creates a safe space for his woman's heart. He makes her feel secure in his presence. He doesn't leave her guessing about his intentions. He doesn't play games with her trust. He leads with clarity, consistency, and compassion. That's what makes a good woman say, "This is a man I can trust my life with." Now, let me say something that might hurt a little. If you're still out here chasing every woman who smiles at you, entertaining side relationships, lying to cover your tracks, or wasting your money trying to impress people, you are not ready for a good woman. And if you try to engage with her while you're still in that state, you will lose her because she's not going to compete with your immaturity. She's not going to lower her standards for your dysfunction. She's not going to settle for less than what she knows she deserves. And honestly, she shouldn't. Son, let me drop this nugget. Good women require leadership, not dictatorship. A boy thinks leading means controlling, barking orders, demanding submission. A grown man understands that leadership means serving, listening, guiding, and sacrificing. It means you go first in humility, you go first in forgiveness, you go first in responsibility, and because you go first, she's willing to follow. A good woman doesn't mind submitting to a man who submits to God because she sees he's not just leading her according to his ego, but according to divine wisdom. Let me also remind you, good women are rare. That's not to discourage you, that's to challenge you. When you find one, don't play with her. Don't treat her like she's common. Don't take her love for granted. Protect it, value it, honor it, and invest in it. Because if you mishandle a good woman, you'll live with the regret of knowing you lost something priceless. And life doesn't always give you second chances with people of that caliber. Son, I need you to understand, before you can have a good woman, you must become a good man. Stop praying for her if you're not willing to prepare for her. Stop asking God to send her if you're not ready to sustain her. Work on yourself. Grow up. Heal from your wounds. Get your money in order. Deepen your relationship with God. Learn how to lead yourself before you ask to lead someone else, because when the time comes and you meet that good woman, you want to be ready, not scrambling to catch up. So if you were my son, I tell you this, good women exist, but they're not interested in boys. They're waiting for men who are grown enough to handle the weight of love, covenant, and family. And if you commit yourself to becoming that man, not only will you attract her, but you will be able to keep her, cherish her, and build a legacy with her. Son, don't settle for playing games with women who are not serious, and don't approach good women with an immature spirit. Grow up, stand tall, and be the man God called you to be. Because when a grown man meets a good woman, destiny unfolds. Son, listen to me closely right here, because this may be one of the most important truths you will ever hear about women and relationships. Not every woman can handle your destiny. I don't care how beautiful she is, how exciting she is, or how much chemistry you feel in the moment. If she cannot handle where God is taking you, she will become a weight instead of a wing. And too many men miss this because they choose women based on where they are instead of where they are going. But when you are a man of destiny, you cannot afford to make that mistake. Destiny is heavy. Son, it's not light, it's not convenient, it's not casual. It requires sacrifice, discipline, faith, and focus. And the woman you tie your life to must be someone who can shoulder that weight with you, not someone who buckles under the pressure or distracts you from the mission. The wrong woman will drain you, while the right woman will sustain you. The wrong woman will compete with your purpose, while the right woman will complement your purpose. The wrong woman will resent the demands of your destiny, while the right woman will respect and support them. That's why you can't just pick any woman. You have to discern the one who is equipped to go the distance with you. Let me make this plain. Some women want you for the man you are, but they don't want to deal with the man you are becoming. They love you as long as you fit into their little box, as long as you don't outgrow their comfort zone. But the moment your destiny starts stretching you, demanding more of your time, requiring new levels of discipline, and calling you to higher places, they get insecure, they get resentful, they get jealous. They say they want a king, but when the crown comes with responsibility, they're not built for it. And son, if you marry a woman like that, you will find yourself constantly choosing between your purpose and your peace at home. The woman who can't handle your destiny will always make you feel guilty for pursuing it. She'll say you're working too much, dreaming too big, believing too strongly. She'll pull you back when you're trying to step forward. She'll belittle your vision because she doesn't have the faith to see it. She'll pressure you to settle for less because she doesn't have the capacity to grow into more. And before you know it, you will have clipped your own wings just to keep her comfortable. That's not love. That's bondage. Now hear me, son. The right woman won't resent your destiny. She will rise with it. She will understand that greatness requires sacrifice, and she will be willing to sacrifice with you. She won't complain about what it costs because she sees the value in the vision. She won't compete with your purpose because she knows she's a part of it. She won't be intimidated by your growth because she's growing with you. That's how you know she's the one who can handle your destiny. She doesn't just watch you climb, she climbs with you. You must also recognize that destiny will test relationships. When life starts pulling at you from every side, when opportunities require relocation, when purpose demands long nights and early mornings, when responsibility requires you to carry more than most men, you will see clearly what kind of woman you have beside you. Some will break under the pressure. Some will start resenting you. But a woman built for your destiny will hold you up when you're tired, encourage you when you're discouraged, and remind you of the bigger picture when you feel like giving up. Son, let me also remind you that your destiny is not just about you. It's about legacy. It's about children, grandchildren, communities, even nations that may be impacted by the choices you make today. So when you choose a woman, you're not just choosing for yourself, you're choosing for generation. If she can't handle the weight of your destiny, she won't be able to help you carry the legacy either. That's why you must look deeper than the surface. You must ask yourself, can this woman walk with me when the lights go out? Can she stand by me when the crowd disappears? Can she pray for me when I can't pray for myself? Can she see beyond the man I am today and support the man I am called to become? And let me tell you something else, son. When a woman can't handle your destiny, she will sabotage it. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, but either way, the result is the same. She will distract you at critical moments. She will create drama when you need peace. She will withhold her support when you need it the most. She will make you feel like you're choosing between her and God's assignment. And if you're not careful, you will end up forfeiting your calling just to keep her happy. That is one of the most dangerous traps a man can fall into. But when a woman can handle your destiny, it's a whole different story. She will multiply your strength. She will cover your weaknesses. She will believe in you when nobody else does. She will remind you of your calling when you're tempted to walk away. Son, don't mistake excitement for endurance. Some women are exciting in the beginning, but they can't endure the journey. Don't mistake attraction for alignment. Just because you're attracted to her doesn't mean she's aligned with your purpose. Don't mistake chemistry for covenant. You can have sparks with someone who will burn your destiny to the ground. You must use wisdom. You must discern. You must pray. Because the woman you choose can either multiply your destiny or murder it. And let me say this, you must also be prepared for the reality that not every good woman is your woman. She may be kind, intelligent, spiritual, and amazing, but that doesn't mean she's equipped to handle the specific destiny on your life. It's not about being a good person, it's about being the right partner. And the right partner for your destiny will fit into your assignment, your calling, your vision in a way that feels divinely orchestrated. So if you were my son, I'd tell you this: guard your destiny by guarding your choice of a woman. Don't let loneliness rush you. Don't let lust blind you. Don't let pressure push you. Wait on the one who is built to handle the man you are becoming, not just the man you are today. Because the wrong woman will cost you your destiny, but the right woman will help you fulfill it. And when you find her, son, she is worth more than gold. Son, let me slow down right here and lean in close, because this point right here is so crucial that if you miss it, you will end up living beneath your value as a man for the rest of your life. Hear me clearly. A woman's respect is everything. I don't care how much she says she loves you. I don't care how much she says she needs you. I don't care how long she's been with you. If she does not respect you, son, that relationship is already dying, and it will suffocate your soul piece by piece until there's nothing left of the man you were created to be. Respect is the oxygen of a man's spirit. Just like your body cannot function without air, your soul cannot thrive without respect. A man who is constantly disrespected in his own house will eventually shrink into a shell of himself. He'll stop dreaming, he'll stop striving, he'll stop leading, because the one place that should build him up has become the place that tears him down. And son, you cannot afford to live like that. God created you to be a king, not a clown. He created you to be a leader, not a lapdog. Let me make something plain. Love without respect is poison. Don't let anyone deceive you. A woman can say, I love you all day long, but if in her actions, in her tone, in her attitude, in her choices, she shows you disdain, she belittles your voice, she mocks your leadership, she dismisses your concerns, that's not love, that's control, that's contempt. And contempt is one of the deadliest things a man can ever live under. When a woman no longer respects you, she no longer sees you as the man, and when she no longer sees you as the man, she will not follow you, she will not honor you, and she will not build with you. Son, respect shows up in small ways and in big ways. It shows up in how she speaks to you when she's angry. It shows up in whether she values your opinion and decisions. It shows up in how she carries herself in public when she's representing you. It shows up in whether she believes in your vision or constantly criticizes your every move. And let me tell you something hard. If you have to beg for respect, you will never really have it. Respect must be freely given, not constantly demanded. A woman who truly respects you will show it without you having to constantly prove your worth to her. Now, let me warn you, son. Some women use love as a mask while disrespect is their true language. They'll shower you with affection when they want something, but the moment conflict arises, the disrespect spills out like venom. They'll emasculate you with their words, tear you down with their sarcasm, humiliate you in front of others, and then come back with, You know I love you, son. Don't fall for that cycle. That's not love, that's manipulation dressed in affection. Real love is always laced with respect. You have to know this too. Once respect is gone, it is very hard to get it back. A woman who loses respect for you will treat you as if you're beneath her. She will start making decisions without you. She will start talking to you like you're a child instead of her man. She will start withholding her intimacy, her softness, her support, because respect is the soil from which those things grow. And if you ignore those early signs, you'll wake up one day realizing you are sleeping next to a woman who no longer sees you as her king, but as her burden. Now, son, don't misunderstand me. Respect is not about dominance. It's not about controlling a woman. It's not about silencing her voice. No, respect is about partnership. It's about her recognizing the weight you carry as a man and choosing to honor it. It's about her believing in you enough to follow your lead, even when she doesn't see the full picture yet. It's about her protecting your name, your spirit, your vision, instead of tearing it down. Respect is not slavery, it's sacred alignment. And when you have a woman who respects you, it feels like fuel in your tank. You walk stronger, you lead with confidence, you dream bigger because you know you're not fighting battles alone. You've got a partner who honors your role. And son, let me turn the mirror back on you. A woman's respect is earned by the way you carry yourself. Don't ever expect respect if you don't respect yourself. If you lie, cheat, manipulate, abandon your responsibilities, or shrink from your purpose, you make it hard for a woman to respect you. Respect is not something you demand with words, it's something you command with character. The way you live, the way you lead, the way you treat her, the way you pursue your calling, that's what makes a woman say, "That's my man and I honor him." But even with that truth, you must never stay in a space where a woman persistently refuses to respect you. Don't waste years trying to force someone to see your worth. If she can't recognize the value in you, that's her blindness, not your inadequacy. The right woman will not have to be convinced of your worth. She will recognize it and magnify it. She will speak life into you, not death. She will lift you, not crush you. She will admire your strength and cover your weaknesses, not mock them. Son, let me also say this. Disrespect is progressive. It starts small and grows over time. It starts with little comments, subtle tones, dismissive looks. Then it turns into public put-downs, constant nagging, controlling behavior. Then it escalates into open contempt, where she no longer hides her disregard for you. If you don't stop it early, it will consume your relationship. That's why you must set boundaries from the beginning. You must let her know, "I love you, but I will not tolerate disrespect." Because a man who tolerates disrespect will eventually lose himself. When a woman respects you, son, her respect will show up as support, honor, and admiration. She'll tell her friends about you with pride. She'll introduce you with joy. She'll speak to you with kindness, even in disagreement. She'll cover your weaknesses instead of exposing them. She'll build with you instead of battling you. And when you find that, you will know the difference, because respect is not something you can fake. It is felt in the soul. So if you were my son, I tell you this: never settle for a woman who loves you but does not respect you. Love without respect will drain you dry. Respect is the foundation of a healthy relationship. And if she cannot honor who you are, she does not deserve access to your heart. Protect your spirit. Protect your peace. Protect your value, because a woman's respect is everything. And the right woman will give it freely, consistently, and joyfully, not because she has to, but because she sees the king that you are.